Howdy Banger fans, welcome to another edition of Overkill Quarantine from Blayne's Dungeon, where you can also catch him at twitch.tv/metalcomedy today, tomorrow, Wednesday, playing video games, listening to metal. But we're on YouTube right now, where you can also like, comment, subscribe to BangerTV, and if you'd like to hear about a third website, we do have a Patreon. We understand not a lot of people can give right now, so just a big salute to those of you still giving to allow us to churn out content like this. And churn we shall, and churn on we will, with a band almost as old as I. Yes, that's right. One of the longest running Death Doom bands, Paradise Lost, released Obsidian today, May 15th, on Nuclear Blast Records. Now, if you'd like a little bit of bio, I'll give it to you now. If you'd like a lot of bit of bio, you can watch Hey, Lockhorn's Death Doom edition, the first thing I ever did with Banger. Aw, isn't that sweet? Because they are, in fact, a Death Doom band, you know? One of the forefathers of the genre, the Peaceville 3. Quick, let's just do a Coles notes. Yes, Coles, Overkill is a Canadian show. Tekken is a Japanese game. England, right? That's where they're from. 1988, they were formed. Wowsies. And original lineup, sans drummer, but same drummer from last record. Original lineup as in since 1988. Wow, you know, with only a drummer change. Very rare in the world of metal. Outside of some rocky times at the turn of the century, Paradise Lost has been doing pretty well for themselves in terms of reception, acclaim, respect. They put out some good records, and it seems like the last two people have really been, you know, like, oh, Paradise Lost is back, you know, this is them, boom. Are they still back, or old gray mare ain't what she used to be? Let's find out. So, confession time. I haven't really cared about the last two Paradise Lost records. I keep meaning to care, but then I got busy, didn't get around to it. They came out close to Hooded Menace Records, and I was just like, eh. You know, I like to support the smaller guys. I feel like with bigger bands, you know, they'd lose some of the edge. So this review was feeling like a bit of a chore. I was procrastinating hard. When I finally got around to pressing play, the first track comes in with clean singing, acoustic guitars, strings, and it's amazing. Like, phenomenal. It's almost a microcosm for the entire record. Darker Thoughts. It starts out soft, gets really heavy, and is just a varied, complex, amazing sounding song. Blown away. Yeah, as I mentioned, the reason I don't really care about the last two records is big bands, I find, just really don't have that heaviness that smaller bands do. It's hard to be as aggressive and mad and really bring out that energy when, you know, you're kind of just doing your thing, you know? It's a lot easier for a postal worker or a firefighter to come off between gigs and really, you know? But what they did here is, instead of bringing just all aggression all the time, they really showed what an elder statesman band can do by playing everything they've ever played in one record and it not sounding like a mess. Like, there's every style Paradise Lost has ever played on this record, and really just a spectacular example of what they can do. One of my favorite songs, Ghosts, sounds like a Sisters of Mercy song. It's the gothic rock that they played for a little while, but done so well. It's short and it's simple, but it's fun and it's catchy and it's dancey and it worms its way into your head. And it comes track 3 and I'm like, holy, this is great. And then my second favorite song on the album is Ravengast, which is a total gross, drippy, atmosphere-y, building Death Doom song to a nice heavy explosion, and it comes at the very end of the record. It's the last song. So you've gone through this record and it's had points of, you know, gothic rock and heavier points, and you're like, I guess they've kind of gone away from the heavier, and some dork like me is going to complain in the reviews, and then they're like, nah man, screw you, we're still as heavy as ever, and then they blast this heavy song and they're like, shut up, and I'm like, fair enough, I'll shut up. Another thing that really just, I complain about this, and there's no complaints here, everyone plays to the top of their ability with such a passion and make it so interesting, especially Walteri Verinen. I'm gonna garbage up your name, but I'm gonna compliment your drumming, so that hopefully will even us out. Just does an amazing job. You know, this is a band that's been around 33 years, and they play 33 years worth of style on this, and he hasn't been with them that whole time, but it sounds like he has. He hits everything perfectly. Every feeling that's supposed to come from the drums at the right moment comes, and a lot of it is based on his super great tom usage. Just really brings a lot of work around the kit, traveling, moving, and adding a lot to the songs. Of course, Nick Holmes as a vocalist is fairly singular in the fact that he is both a delightful crooner who can portray so much emotion with some clean vocals, as well as a great growler that can stand with any death metal band. You know, sometimes you get guys that are good at one and then do the other, and you're like, go back to that thing you're good at. Not here. No matter what he's doing, you're happy to hear it. Both Gregor McIntosh and Aaron Eddy's guitars sound amazing on the record. Oh, they're so full and the tone's so perfect. And Gregor, I really can't say that name, not like Nadja, it has some fantastic solos. They come in at just the right moment. They're these kind of big soaring rock solos, and you go, damn, I want to hear that again, and you realize it's like the track's almost over and you gotta go back and re-listen to the whole thing, but you're happy to do it. And there's even some bass forward parts, like the start of Ending Days, that allows Stefan Edmondson to stretch his legs. You know, just a bang-up performance all around from everybody involved. Cover, production, playing, just a great record. This really feels like a record that addresses all the complaints I normally say when I'm reviewing a festival headliner band's album. Feels like they made their first record again in terms of energy and enthusiasm and passion. The production, it still sounds like a big label, big production, but it sounds like that because it just sounds perfect. It sounds like everybody did their job impeccably, and they have a nice big $1 million production, but they don't lose atmosphere and feel and emotion because it's not trying to sound like it's a big record. It just is a big record. Perfectly flows from part to part, because instead of showing just a bit of who the band is, they go, hey, we've been at this for 33 years. We can do a lot of different stuff, and it all sounds amazing. Let's just put that all on display, and they do, and they transition from it so well, and those transitions are all the more impressive when you realize Sisters of Mercy sounds nothing like Winter, and they go from both, and at no point do you go like, oh, that was a little jarring. You go, damn, this is great, that was great, I need to go back. Oh man, I love just going through the record over and over. It really, really surprised me. Worst parts, I didn't write anything. It says I didn't write anything, because there's not really anything to complain about. So, I've only given 2 5s before. One was to Bellwitch for releasing an hour and 20-odd minute song as an album, and that seeming like a good decision. And the other one was to Hooded Menace, my favorite band, for releasing a record that I just didn't think they would release. It didn't sound like anything they've done before, while still sounding like them. This record doesn't do anything I haven't seen Paradise Lost do before, but it does do everything I've seen Paradise Lost do before at a very high level. So it's very easy to give this 4.5 out of 5 skulls, but make the skulls extra wide so they seem like more of a 4.5 out of 5, because it's like a 4.5 plus 4.75. Shoutouts! So, despite the fact that May's been a little slow, there are still some records that you may not have heard about. 2 of them I really like. Tithe released Penance on TARDIS Records today. They're from Portland. They're like death, almost death doomy with grind thrown in there. It's really cool, and boy, what an album cover. That really just, well, you know, makes you want to own it. And Swiss blackened doom weird odes Ashtar is releasing Kaikuja on Eiswald. Eisenwald today as well. So, you know, there's some records that I think you might like if you like this, but it's a little more underground. They're both a little more aggressive. Like I said, aggressive is in the underground. But, you know, weird. And, you know, let's all get down with some weird stuff. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, Patreon, Twitch.